Well, hello everyone, this is EC the Gamer, and this is going to be like a very different video from all the others that I made. Uh, I don't know if you heard the news. I think everyone has heard it. It's supposedly it's one of the most historic uh, uh, business transaction that we've seen from the gaming industry. It has to do with the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Uh, you know, I don't tend to do these videos, but I don't know why I felt that I have to do it because everyone is talking about this. It's just crazy. You see my channel, I tend to play a lot of games on the PS4. It's not that I dislike Microsoft. It's pretty much, I don't know. I have been accustomed to PlayStation for some time, but I have in my history of playing, I have had at least one console from each, from Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. I started with Nintendo, you know, the 64, Nintendo 64, then the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. I don't know which one came first because I was too young, so I don't remember. Then it was I skipped. I went from to PlayStation, but I didn't have the PS1, but actually the PlayStation 2. I stuck with that console for at least 10 years. Then I went to the Xbox 360, and I got it actually for 9 months, that console, because I got the Re on death. So after that, I just changed back to the PlayStation, to the PS3, and from that point forward, I was PS4, PlayStation, but it wasn't that I wanted to stay there. I wanted to be one of those individuals that I was moving around the consoles. But yes, but now we have the new generation, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and Microsoft is definitely doing some big move. Let me see, I have an article here. Essentially, it's the one from Microsoft's web page, their website. They actually bought they bought the whole company for the publisher for $68.7 billion. I mean, this is crazy. Just think about it. Recently, what was 2022 now? This 2020 and 2021, they bought Bethesda. A lot of people, that was like 7 point something, 7.5 million billions. That was a surprise for everyone. I mean, it's weird because I feel like the Bethesda one was the really impressive one because of the game that they developed. I mean, the developers that Bethesda had are really incredible. Like, they do some really big games, not like the Reputation, but like the games like Elder Scrolls, Fallout. They're really giant games, so that was a surprise buy from them. But now they acquired this one, and because I'm not a multiplayer guy, this company have been making more multiplayer games like Call of Duty and that. But when you think about it, that is a really important thing nowadays. So let me see. So they acquire essentially 10,000 employees. That's what the company has, and they have games now like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush. I only have played one there, and that is Call of Duty. So that's the only thing. That's the only one that I can give like an opinion. Uh, and I mean, everyone is shocked about this. Like, the industry is you might just think about this. A lot of the gaming news, they pretty much stay in the gaming industry, with ourselves, the PlayStation community, Nintendo, Microsoft, the Xbox, and the PC. Like, it stays like in its own. I don't want to say small community, but it stays contained there. This thing is in every, news, uh, news channel from like everything, like everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. I mean, it's a major power move here from Microsoft, and you know, I applaud them. You know, they have the if they have the money, and if it's permitted, because we need to. Everything that I've been hearing is that it's going to happen, uh, which is still weird for me. I still don't understand this. I don't know what is. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't know what is a monopoly or not. What is considered a monopoly or not, but from what I understand, this is not a monopoly, but it's getting close. I mean, it's definitely getting close. I mean, which are the biggest company in gaming? Like, we have the three main ones that are the one that actually made the consoles. You know, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. There's the one that had the Steam Deck. That's from the PC. I don't know which is that's Valve, right? That's the name of the company. I don't know if that's the name, but that's another one. Then we have Square Enix, EA, Activision, Blizzard, Sega, Capcom, maybe, I don't know. So those are the main ones that I can think of. There's also some smaller ones, but that has become big. There's Annapurna, Devolver. I mean, there are some, they are there. So, but the thing is that this is the one company that has one of the most important games, at least that everyone keeps buying every year, is Call of Duty. Although I have stopped playing Call of Duty games for a long time now, since I think my last Call of Duty game that I played with friends, actually, it was Advanced Warfare. Then recently I played a bit of a multiplayer with what's the name of that game? It's Call of Duty World War II, I think. But that was it. I haven't played Call of Duty for a long time, simply because I don't know. I just got bored. But man, I mean, I seen the article here. It's just crazy what Phil Spencer has done. You know. I mean, and a lot of people. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because, you know, a lot of people are talking like, this is it. This PlayStation and Nintendo is over, especially PlayStation, because this definitely affects more PlayStation than Nintendo. You know, Nintendo is doing their own thing. I think that's great, and PlayStation is doing the same, but they are more closely tied or more related to the, you know, the market that Microsoft is trying to target, you know, the people that they're trying to look for, and so definitely this is going to affect them. I pretty much, being honest, maybe it's definitely going to affect. I don't know how, like, I don't know in the long term, but at least, you know, as long as PlayStation continues to make, you know, they keep acquiring some of the other studios, smaller ones or medium ones, and they keep making the games that they've been making for some time now, I think they're going to be okay. Supposedly they have a new project Spartacus, that's going to maybe combine PS Plus and PS Now, and I think that's a good thing. So yeah, they have some things, but definitely this is a great power move. And I think that nowadays it's going to be more difficult for people. The thing that Microsoft is doing is, I don't think they're trying to force people to, you know, to buy their console. They're like, look, you can either buy their console, go and play on PC, or any other thing that they're going to, mobile, you know, or some other thing. Because I remember they were mentioning, I don't know which event it was. They started talking. Phil's person was starting to talk about making like a streaming device, because they're now more. They also have cloud. So they were talking about that. So I assume the streaming device could be made eventually. And if they do that, that could actually make me go much faster to their side. You know, I think I have good enough internet for that, so it could definitely work for me. Uh, so it's getting at the point where we're definitely going to be able to have multiple console enough. I mean, pretty much everyone has, not everyone, but a lot. There's a lot of there are more people now that have multiple consoles than before. Unfortunately, I'm not in that point because first it's the money. I simply don't have it. I have when I decide a console, I have to decide with one of them. The other thing is time. You know, I just don't know if I have enough time to play another console, even a third one. But I do want to have them eventually. The money thing is the biggest issue for me. Uh, but man, it's just crazy. Dude, this is the one thing that I never would have thought. I mean, I was always expecting that it was going to be EA. For whatever reason, I mean, I think the failures that they had, that I felt that was going to be more close for them than Activision Blizzard. But I think Microsoft was smart enough to see that Activision is definitely in a weak position. With what was the name of the guy, Bobby Kotick, something like that, the CEO of Activision. There's a lot of scandals there. You know, how they've been treating their employees. So that's definitely has hurt them a lot. I mean, EA has their own trouble, but at least it has not gotten to this point. Isn't it curious? It feels like in EA, maybe people, rather than just wait for them to be at that level, they just leave. I mean, I feel if something like that happens, you just leave. Although I know that getting a job is not easy, but yeah, it's like I thought EA was going to be the one that they bought, you know, maybe they're going to do it. We still don't know. I mean, these people are just going and going. Although I feel that eventually there's going to have to be a limit, because if they keep buying, they're going to start affecting the other companies. But again, Nintendo, PlayStation, they are starting to do their own thing, you know. And they have the different communities, the different, you know, demographic. They're starting to hit different communities. You know, they're not focusing on the same individuals, so the same players. So it's going to work, I think. But man, congrats to them. You know, they definitely, and hopefully this merger, it actually acquisition. Oh damn it! What the hell? Then acquiring this company, they can actually put it in a better position, because people are very excited, you know, especially to have Xbox. But let's be careful, because you know, one of the reasons why I haven't gone back to Microsoft is because I still don't feel sure about them, you know. Not as a service, they're the best. I think Game Pass, even before Game Pass, I think when it comes to multiplayer thing, like when it comes to Xbox as a service, I think that's where Microsoft excels. But when it comes to games, I still don't know. They're like a 50-50 there. I mean, they were doing really well, but something happened. I mean, the generation of the Xbox One, that was a total failure from the very beginning. Like the very beginning, the moment they made the first reveal of that console, that turned me off. Like immediately, I just said, what the hell are these people thinking about? But now they're doing incredible. Their console is really great now. They're doing a great server like Game Pass. But the games, I still feel they're not there. Now when I mean that, let's be clear. They're going to make the games. They already have the plans and everything. Like, and again, buying this company, they already have those games. A lot of those games are in development, but I haven't seen them. Like actually, like for example, one that I won't be able to play unless I buy the console is Starfield. That was sounding interesting to me, but again, we haven't seen that game. Like really, we haven't. People have not played it, so we need to be on the lookout that Microsoft now they have to fulfill their promise. You know that they're going to make great games because they have all these companies and they still fail. Oh man, I don't know how they can. And they have too many companies to fail. Uh, Remember, they in the past they only had like Gears of War, Halo, and Forza. I think those were like the three major games that they had. So hopefully they can actually, you know, get it straight and start making great games. Which 2022 I think is going to be a great year for both for every company. I think PlayStation, Microsoft. If it wasn't for this pandemic, and they would have already put some of those games, but it is what it is. But yes, as far as how it is going to affect PlayStation, which is the one that I am playing, you know, play most because that's the only console that I have. If it's going to affect it, yeah, it's possible, but I don't know. For me, it's games, and PlayStation has the games. The problem is going to be the output. You know, this is starting to become like this Disney and Netflix kind of thing, where Netflix is about not necessarily quality but more quantity, and then Disney and even HBO Max is trying to do the quality thing. But eventually, you had to match, whether you like it or not, you had to match that quantity with your own quantity because you're going to get overwhelmed. Uh, so yeah, I mean, we just have to see what happens. There's a lot of things that I think I was mentioning. Microsoft does not have a good it's not going to be an easy task. First, I mean, there's lawsuits. I mean, there's a lot of problems in Activision Blizzard. I think they have. Let me see, what's the name? Wasn't there a company, Raven or something like that, that was in like a strike? Even talks about unions and everything. Like that's like they have a lot of things they have to deal with. Like a really lot of them. So they have to deal with that first. Hopefully they do it. They do a good job. I said before, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's hope that they don't mess it up because Activision and Blizzard problems are now their problems. At least if the deal, they said 2023, I don't know. But we'll see, you know. We'll see what the government, you know, what they say about this deal, if it goes through. From what I've been hearing, it is going to go through. I mean, the Funimation Crunchyroll, that was another acquisition, and the Bethesda, but the Funimation Crunchyroll was another one that immediately the anime community was like, that is monopoly. And I was like, you know, I tend to have Funimation more than Crunchyroll, but I do subscribe every now and then to Crunchyroll. And people were, that's a monopoly, and in my mind I was like, yes it is, but they're not acquiring the company that make the anime that is in Japan. You know, they have one of them, I think, or one or two of them, but not all of them. They're just acquiring the distribution companies, you know, the one that distribute the anime in the world, but they're not the only ones, because I think that's why at the end they the government went to the decision that, you know, yes, we can't do anything about it because there wasn't anything to do. There were not the only companies, streaming services that existed. There were some that were much bigger, Netflix, Amazon, and anyone could say, yeah, but they don't have the experience. Yes, but again, the moment if they were to decide to put all of their efforts in there, they have the money. At least Amazon has it. So heck, even Disney made what was called Star Wars Vision, and that was a success. I really liked that show, and that was the real first time that they did a show like that in anime, and it really well, and that was from from a company that doesn't have experience in that, at least in anime, and they did it. So, it's the same thing here. I just don't know. For me, it feels, but at the same time, it doesn't. Like, I just don't know what's going to happen in the future if this continues to go on like this. But anyway, they definitely did a major move here. Definitely, Game Pass is taking center stage here in the events of the gaming industry now. Although I think PlayStation in that category they can compete a little bit because they already have. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, PlayStation doesn't have a way to compete with them in that area." And say, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, they were the ones. Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they the first company, or at least one of the first that made the streaming service of PlayStation Now? That was essentially streaming only at the beginning. That was them. The problem with PlayStation is that they never focus a lot of it, so they just let it continue to run there, but not give it a lot of marketing. So then King S bought and put out full-on marketing in that, and definitely yes, it's working. But they're not the first ones. But they are the most successful. That's the truth about it. I wish one day to actually get it. But again, it has to be like something like a streaming device, or me buying the console. That's the only way. I haven't bought the PS5 because they're very hard. I could have bought it day one, but I didn't want to. I don't know. I wanted to buy it in the store, which by what I'm looking at is going to be impossible, but I'd rather wait. A lot of people are desperate to buy these consoles, but I mean, I don't know why. The Xbox has a lot of alternatives to where you can play the games, and even the older console, you can use Game Pass there. So from what I understand, it's okay. Like, and PlayStation is the same. Like, at least PlayStation 4 has so many games. No one can like. Anyone who said that it's bored or something on the PS4, of their PS4, I mean, that means that they have been playing all of the games, and I just can't believe that. Unless you're a hardcore gamer or something like that, but most people, they should have enough games. And it's not only that, the ones that keep coming, so they should be okay for a few years, I think. But eventually, I don't know how it's going to be resolved. Supposedly it's going to normalize a bit in 2023, but I don't believe that. I think this thing is just going to keep on going. We'll see. But yes, this acquisition has been, I mean, just here, nearly $70 billion. I mean, recently wasn't Take-Two. I think it was Take-Two who bought, what's the Zynga or something? That was like a mobile company. It was like 12 billion, and now that was recent. People were like shocked about that number. And now it's like, that's nothing. This is like double or triple that. So, wow, 70 billion. When I heard that, I mean, I heard that in the morning, and I was like, okay, let me see. I think it was on YouTube that I saw it on a video, but I didn't believe it. I said, oh, this is someone just with those famous rumors, trying to, I don't know, clickbait or something like that. Then I saw another video and said, oh, wait a second, I trust this one. So if this is the second time, it's either a report of a rumor or something like that, or because the way they were talking about it felt like, just from the titles of the videos and the thumbnails, it was like this had to be real. Like, and then the news everyone was talking about, it was like one video like you can go and refresh the you could have refreshed the YouTube time after time, and there's a new video was coming up, a new video. So like people were just, some excited, others were in shock. Maybe some of the PlayStation fans were depressed. I mean, for me it didn't affect me because I don't play Call of Duty a lot, so for some time now, so it doesn't affect me, and none of the other games. So But I know a lot of people that played those games and they had to be pissed. But you know, again, it is what it is. Uh, uh, I love the console that I have, and I do like what Microsoft's doing. You know, I think they took because PlayStation, on the other hand, when it came to the PS3, the Xbox 360 dominated that generation, I think. But the PS3 was able to get back at the very end, so they were able to get close to Microsoft, even surpass them, but they lost that generation. Then the PS4, they definitely learned from their mistakes in the past. Microsoft, I don't think it was that they learned from their mistake. It was more that they saw what PlayStation was doing. They saw their message. I mean, the message of PlayStation was clear. It's all about games. Every E3 presentation, everything that it was always, they started with that. It was always about games. Eventually, Microsoft just copied PlayStation, which was the best decision that they ever made, you know. But then they said, okay, we are now in a stable position. Now let us revolutionize, because that's the problem with Microsoft. That's what they tried to do with the Xbox One. They tried to revolutionize the gaming industry or something like that. But the problem was that it was only then. If they would have PlayStation or even Nintendo, maybe they could have they could have changed it. But the other companies, they stuck with their guns. You know, it's all about games now. And they were the only ones that were different. That, like, really different, like way too much, too fast, and yeah, it was a failure for them. But now they're doing it. Phil Spencer definitely has a plan. He's going to definitely have fruit. He's going to have, you know, he's going to bear fruit, because they're definite. He has a dream. Like, he has a big plan. I still am a bit confused about that plan, because I was watching another video talking about this, and you know, it was about, they were talking about the exclusive. Are Call of Duty games going to be exclusive or not? And some people were saying, you know, those that were commentating in that video, where they were like, there was one person saying no. I mean, yes, that the games were going to be exclusive to the Xbox, because why are you going to, you know, put so much money just to not put them exclusive? But there was another person that saying like, oh, let's be careful with that, because, you know, that doesn't that mean that they're going to decide to lose all of that money that they would make? I mean, doesn't MLB The Show, that's the baseball game from PlayStation, aren't they making a lot of money because they're now selling it in both the PlayStation and the Xbox? So I mean, I think they're like multi-platform. It's so weird, because Phil Spencer is like the guy who, I think there's a moment that he contradicts. It's not like really bad, it's just like he was the one I remember saying that exclusives are really bad, which I kind of agree. But at the same time, he's talking about having exclusives, which, okay. But it makes sense, you know, they're selling consoles, you know, they need something to make them unique. Not only Game Pass, they need something to sell exclusive games. My question is, when will they stop making console, if there ever will be? Because they're starting to become like a service, which I think that's the best decision, you know, they have ever made. They're definitely, this time they're doing the things right. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a bit, you know. I'm not an expert in any of this, the economic side of the deal, but it's a really big move, one of the biggest one that I've seen recently, apart from the Bethesda one. A lot of people are trying to say, like, you know, PlayStation now has to try to compete or something like that, and I don't know, like, I mean, remember PlayStation at one moment they were in a bit of a problem, you know, an economical problem, and they're now in a much better position. But I don't think they should risk. I mean, they should continue to buy companies, but only smaller or medium companies, you know. Uh, but yeah, they should buy. But I mean, imagine now they say, oh, let's buy EA or now Square Enix, something like that. It would be cool, but I don't know what's. I mean, but that because then Microsoft is going to do the same thing, and we're going to truly have a monopoly at the end. I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad because where I live, there's in Puerto Rico, there's an electrical company that essentially had a monopoly for years, and they ended in bankruptcy. I don't know how because, I mean, we're really we know, but it's just shocking that they made such bad decisions when they were the only ones. So it is what it is, you know. So that's why I'm scared about this, you know, acquiring these companies. And for me, the problem is not like that they did it. It's just that it's such a short time between the previous acquisition and this one. So they haven't given anyone like time to breathe. We haven't seen the full effect of the Bethesda one. We're still waiting for that one. We know the Starfield and that kind of game, but and those other games, but we still haven't seen the full effect of acquiring those companies, and they're already buying another one, even bigger, or at least in terms of how many players and how many people buy those games and play online. But yes, I mean, Call of Duty has a home, and not only that, they have now Halo and Call of Duty. You know, now PlayStation, what they need is a first person. I don't know why PlayStation hasn't made first person shooter. I mean, some people feel like Killzone was a failure. I love Killzone, you know. I think Guerrilla Game make a really great game. The series I love from the first one to even the last one not a lot, but I did enjoy them, especially the trilogy. The problem was that I think Guerrilla Gang at that time they just didn't know what to do with. But the multiplayer was really good. It was the story, the single player campaign. They were never able to truly develop the story really well. I don't know if they actually knew at that time how to do it. Now they made Horizon and that was a success. But I wish they go back to Killzone, at least for one game, maybe to see if they can do it again. Because I felt they have a great story there, but they were not successful. And then there was Resistance, so they are single. There has been some single player success, you know, first person shooter that have been successful. It's just that and multiplayer they were really well. I think Resistance 2 had a really good multiplayer, so they had success there, but they just let those games die. So they don't have a multiplayer game of them, you know, exclusive. And now without Call of Duty, if the game doesn't stay there, it's just what are they going to do? They need to start, and I think they are working on some of those games. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the video is long enough, so I'm going to leave it here. Just what I wanted to say, a bit of my opinion, my personal opinion, and quite frankly, we still don't know the ramifications of this decision. We still don't know if it's going to happen, but I assume it's going to. If it does, it's a major move, and it's a lot of money that they put there. I mean, in terms of money, I don't know how PlayStation can deal with that, and I don't know if it. I don't think they should, but I know a lot of people now they want to show like. It's like, I don't know, is this like an act of war or something like that, and like Microsoft has thrown the first bullet or something like that, and now they want PlayStation to retaliate. I don't want that. I want them to continue to do what they're doing, you know, acquiring companies, but not on this large scale. But if they have to, well, they have to. They eventually they're going to have to take a risk on something. They can't just play. At this point, I think they have to start making plans to not play safe continuously, because that's what they've been doing, because they're doing really well, so they don't need to take a risk. Now they have to think about it, at least make plans for the future, which they're already making. I assume they already have started making them. And Nintendo, I don't think this affects Nintendo a lot, because they have been doing their thing for a long time. It's actually been working. So yeah, that's all, guys. That's what I wanted to mention. As always, you know, in this channel, if you're new to it, don't forget to hit that subscription button. Also hit the like button and leave a comment. Also hit the notification bell, that way you can get notified of the videos that come to the channel. That's pretty much it. And I don't know, guys, tell me please in the comments, you know, please tell me what you think about this major acquisition. You know, this is historic, really. I never heard of something like this. So just tell me what you think, you know, and we just have to wait and see what happens in the future. That's all for now. Easy the Gamer signing off, and I will see you on the next video.